Hey fellow YouTubers, thought I'd give an update on where I'm at. It's a balmy -5 here today. Last week it was about -15. Just silly cold, but I'm so eager to work on this project I came out anyway. Last weekend I started working on the seal for the air compressor. It was leaking something fierce the last time the motor was running, so I got it pulled back, put the new seal in. But the problem is with the lines, they're also dried and brittle. But as soon as you move them, they started to sweat, so I had to replace the line. So I replaced the intake, discharge once I get a new fitting, and that'll be good. I'm going to replace the air line. With the lines in general, I'm trying to pick the worst ones first and just keep picking away at it and swap them all out, eventually replacing all of them. But swap the power steering filter and the canister back here, and then topped up the tranny fluid in the power steering, so at least I'll have some steering when I get the motor running again. Air cleaners have been a royal pain. So I got these mounts from Badger Truck Parts, a wrecker here in Alberta, and they're off of Kenworth. But the problem is I didn't realize that they're mounted so darn far out, about 4 inches out. And what happened was the snorkel, the 7-inch to 6-inch snorkels that I bought weren't long enough to actually reach this. So I went to Kenworth, and after some searching we found an old style band that gets really close, only about a 1/2 inch away to the plate, so hopefully that works. Now these panels that I mounted are for a typical 359, but of course this one has the taller with the dual intake. So if you look at the hood, most 359 hoods go all the way to here, and then the mount is here. But when I had those mounted, it's got a big gap obviously, and you can see the motor, and it just looks like hell. So I'm going to get new panels to stay in the shop. He's going to fab some up and use these as a template, and then we can finally get some clean air for the old girl. Popped out the clearance lights. I'm going to replace those with new LEDs, and you can see the wiring here. It's pretty old and brittle, and I'm not a big fan of clips. Probably rewire it all, solder and shrink wrap. While the air cleaners are off, it's the right time to do it. What else? I put new mirrors, new spot mirrors, new CB antennas, and I mounted the signal lights up on the mirrors. I think that looks a lot cooler than on the front fender. If you recall, I had the square ones here that I've taken off. I like the cleaner look. The fenders are garbage. They're pretty rusted out. They're not worth saving. But luckily, the fellow that I bought the truck off of is going to give me a set of new ones he said he has in storage. When I get those, I'll hack off all these huck bolts and rivet those on there. That'll look good. Exhaust, you'll see in a previous video, the exhaust was leaking. It's completely rotten. I mean, it's just rusted from capturing water for 10 years. So I'll get new elbows. The fellow I bought the sleeper off of has got me not new mufflers, but newer mufflers, so that'll work and solve that leak. What else? The roof, I'm going to start taking the stuff off. I'm going to take the beacons off, take the air conditioner off. I'm not going to use air conditioning, I'll just roll the windows down. Now if you're going to tackle one of these projects, these 359s, you're going to almost always see in every truck that you look at that they are just rotten on the top cap. I guess it's a steel over aluminum, and it just rotted out. But the nice thing is you can get new ones. You can get fiberglass caps and rivet that on there. It's about 500 bucks for a new one of those. So when I tackle the cab, probably next winter, I'm going to put a fiberglass cap on. I'm going to do a big mean drop visor, like a 13-inch. I only have half a window or half a windshield to look out of. Figure that'll look cool. The mufflers are gonna, like as I said, I'm gonna put the mufflers on, but eventually I want to put straight pipes, either 10-inch or 8-inch diameter. We'll see how much money I have. 12 foot, no spool, no handle, no heat shield, just pure straight pipe. Got tired of opening the passenger door and climbing over the stick, so I finally mounted the door handle. Mounted a new window crank, that was missing. What else have I done inside? The shifters, I changed the T-handle to the auxiliary because when it was on here and you'd shift forward, you'd smack your hand into the dash. So I made it the shorter shifter here. I think that'll work quite nice. I'm going to go with air windshield wipers. There is an electronic conversion kit that looks pretty trick, but it's about $800-900 bucks, so I'm going to wait on that and just get these going. There's a shop called Dan's, I think it's Dan's Shop Incorporated. All he manufactures is new Peterbilt 359 parts. It's just a fantastic website, and he's the only guy that had these new, so I'm going to order 2 of those, get the wipers fixed up. Hopefully that stops my air leak, get new windshield wipers put on. That's pretty much the inside. I'd like to get new seats this year, but we'll see. Time and money. But there's a company called Day Cabs Incorporated, and they sell all new kits, headliner, door skins, the whole 9 yards. So I'll get a new, again, when I work on in the cab next winter, I'll get that from those guys and put that on there. Now the sleeper, I'm gonna put this sleeper up for sale. I'm sure someone will be interested in it. It's got the ultra rare Peterbilt stamped into the cap, so I'll put that on the local paper. Tanks, I was going to start working on these tanks, but after thinking about it a little more, I'm not a big fan of painted tanks. They look good at the start, but then they get rock chipped, so I'll probably trade them in on aluminum tanks and polish those up to look like stainless. As you can see, we got a lot of snow here, so I'm going to shovel the snow out of the way. I got the wheels off. Noticed that there was a leaking seal on the rear right. I'm going to get that. So I thought if I'm going to do one, I might as well do all 4. So I'm going to pull the drums off, pull the hubs off, check the bearings, replace all the seals, replace the brakes. I'll have nice new brakes. You'll notice I'm going to replace the 30-30 pots as well. You'll see that this is the old school pot that actually had the bolt on the danger end of the pot. These guys were taking these bolts off to try and, I think, replace the pancake seal, and they were killing themselves, or at least hurting themselves pretty bad, because this is obviously loaded up. On the newer ones, if you check, you can't even take there isn't even a bolt. It's just a band to keep people from messing with it. So replace all 4 pots. The airbags are kind of dry rotted, and now that I got it on jack stands, this guy is completely rotted. It's not even attached to the frame. So 4 new airbags. The guy I brought the truck off of loaned me a sandblaster, and I got a bunch of sandblast sand, so I'm going to start sandblasting. When it warms up, the airline from my air compressor, when it's outside laying in the snow, freezes up. So I gotta wait till it warms up. The rims, they're not the greatest, but they're decent. I'm gonna pick the best 4, polish them up so they look half decent, and at least mount the used tires for this year so I can drive it around. My goal is to get the thing on the road by summer, obviously certified, safe, and inspected, and then driving around. Take the sleeper off. I'll have to either rent or borrow a forklift and get the new sleeper put on. I'll show you the new sleeper I got. Well, new to me. It's not brand new, but it's been refurbished. There's the air conditioner I'm gonna put on. So this is the sleeper here. As I mentioned, it's got the nice rear window. It's a little dirty. I hauled it home on the trailer. But this is gonna be the color of old blue. It's called Sovereign Blue. It's a kind of a metallic Packard color. I think it's either Peterbilt or Kenworth, but I like it. So I'm going to paint the truck, the hood, and the cab to match this. Now, had stickers on it, and I started using a heat gun, which was just brutal because you end up with the glue. So I found this on the internet. It's called a Doka disc, and it's like an eraser, and it just pounds off the decals. So if anyone has decals and wants to get them taken off, that's the way to go. Okay, what else? So, headlights. Started working on the headlights. I was going to go round, but as you can see, I've mounted the rectangles. I think this is, thinking about it a little more, this is kind of cool. It's kind of rare. However, now that I've taken them apart, I don't have all the pieces, so I'm going to have to search the internet to piece together 2 full sets, and we'll go with rectangles. I agree with some of the viewers that it's a little more unique. So I'm going to go with that. Now you'll notice my hood's kind of crooked. There's a tighter gap here and a bigger gap over there. So it's the bushings on the mounts are the new bushings off eBay. So hopefully that straightens out the hood. And then when I took these apart, the mice were actually getting in between the headlight and the shell here, and they set up a nice big little nest. I couldn't believe it. I'm tired of finding mouse nests. Hopefully that's the last one in the truck. But that's the latest. Again, I might rename this truck little by little, because that's kind of how I'm working on it. But she'll get there, and she'll be on the road this summer.